we're recording. I got the 4K goggles on to help out with the mild astigmatism. So I can read things a little bit sharper. Like my screen's pretty far. I can still read this no problem. So this is World of Warcraft Classic Era. That means that there are absolutely no expansions whatsoever.
Excellent.
I know I sound like a broken record, but I feel like it's really important to state that. My talent tree has been reset. And I was on... Sorry, my Tauren Druid. I haven't played this for already almost a week, and it's like, this is part of the reason I really wasn't contemplating playing the game. I've been playing Starfield, Baldur's Gate, more American Truck Simulator. I've been having a blast, and despite all of those great games, that is sucking the life out of me, nothing, at least for now, can completely take me away from the world of Warcraft. This is Mankrik server. This is now considered a low population server, and it could be because it's a holiday, Labor Day, depending on what part of the world you're in. I'm not too sure if the US celebrates that. Chances are most of the population on here aren't Canadians. So there's that. Kids are going back to school around all of North America. And we also have hardcore servers. So I have a feeling a combination of those three factors are playing a small part. However, if we take a look at Ashenvale, because remember what I said the last time. Look at me, remember. Like I'm expecting all the people to just be flocking in here to be remembering everything I said in my other video when I'm talking 100 miles an hour. We still got 25 people in Ashenvale, and on the Horde side of things, on the other server that is much more populated, we're at like 32. Okay, so I kind of use some of these zones here as a barometer, whatever you want to call it. Hillsbrad Foothills, we got 20 people. So when we're sitting at around 20 people in some of these big zones, that makes me happy. Very likely that I'm going to run into people. I'll be able to buff them and just have a good time. Literally. Like I said, that's what I play World of Warcraft for. I tried Fallout. Yeah, I tried Fallout, but that's a different kind of a game. That's not really like an MMO in the traditional sense. I tried Final Fantasy Online. I've said that in my other videos, but in case you haven't seen my other ones. And I like it, but for a game that I have to pay every month, I'd rather just play WoW, even though, technically speaking, I'll admit, Final Fantasy Online does a lot of things better than World of Warcraft, but nostalgia is a very, very powerful emotion. And the familiarity and such, like I said before, I think is just what's keeping me. This is the original, as some people would say, the OG World of Warcraft before it was touched with anything. Remember, there's no Burning Crusade in here. There's no Wrath of the Lich King. There's nothing. Just the literal classic experience. The epitome of classic. I mean, I'd go as far as saying Wrath of the Lich King is as well. And that's pretty much where it kind of died off, didn't it? No, we don't want to get too hog wild. But remember, some of the things that may potentially steer me away from playing this long term is going to be the lack of gear. I'm not going to really want to spend hours in dungeons, maybe. I don't think. Just getting the basic dungeon gear. I have to admit, in Wrath of the Lich King, you just do a couple of winter grasps here and there, and the honor is ridiculous. Then you get that, what I call welfare epics. But it's gear. And if you're just roaming around killing level 10s and you're buffing people in lower level zones, you don't need tier 3 gear for that. But at the same time, I don't want to be in level 53 greens in a level 60 zone either. Remember, this is classic. Everything's more expensive. Everything takes longer. Everything hits you harder. And that's not necessarily a good time, but arguably this is the Elden Ring, the souls of MMORPGs that I know of. Like the classic part. Remember, not retail WoW. I don't even talk about retail World of Warcraft. That's just... At that point, I would probably just be playing Final Fantasy. If there was no classic, nothing, didn't exist. It was just retail. It was just Dragonflight. I might be in Final Fantasy Online and be playing Guild Wars 2 a lot more. Like I promised you that. So again, I'm not Asmongold. This isn't the most exciting thing to watch. But I do this because it's like a gamer vlog. I'm showcasing the game for anybody that doesn't want to pay or play or go through the grind. It's sort of like a video diary of a noob's journey through the world of classic Azeroth before it was tainted by the corruption of Deathwing. Right for Kata, to where they ruin the game. For me. Maybe not for you. I'll have a couple people. They didn't ruin anything. Depends how you look at it. Oh. Come, get some. Just in time. Because I know some people, to them it's almost like ASMR. Assuming the person you're listening to is enjoyable, but I just mean like the game, listening to the music and all that sort of stuff. It's very nostalgic. You can play the music because the music isn't copyrighted. So that's like a huge bonus. So by the way, in case you didn't see my other video, and no, I'm not going to be like, I'll leave a link down below so you can go check that out. No, you don't need to go there. If you haven't seen it, too bad. You missed your chance. I spoke about how I got to 13 on the Tauren Druid, and I got myself to the Barrens. I got myself out of Mulgore. First time in history, I actually completed the entire zone. I've never done the whole Tauren zone. And now I can see clearly why I never did it before. I mean, it was okay, but from a lore perspective, it was cool because I had never done it. I'm going on 20 years of World of Warcraft. 2 decades. That's half of my life. Well, a little bit less because I'm going to be 45 in November, but close enough. I was 23 years old. 25 years old. Helps if I can count. Yeah, I was in my mid-20s. Wow, when this game came out. And now, oof, you know what I mean? Now, those are the scouts. Those are the scouts. The trogs are over there. But yeah, that's why I try to leave a little bit. The music up, the ambience. A little bit on the somewhat high side. I might do a no commentary one where I'm just kind of flying. Like, imagine if I flew from Stranglethornvale, from the Booty Bay, and I was on my Horde or my Alliance, and I decided to go all the way to Western Plaguelands, Chillwind Camp. Right? Or, even better, Light's Hope Chapel in the Eastern Plaguelands. Like, that would be something. But for me to record that and then not talk, I think I would go insane. So I don't talk, your sanity's restored. I talk, I restore mine, but now you're going crazy. Yeah, it's kind of hard to perhaps balance that. I mean, I suppose we can get them. They'll give us the teeth we want. But yeah, as much as I like this game, I have to admit I'm just kind of... I can drop an F-bomb now. I've been recording long enough to say, holy fuck, I'm drained. Really, of like leveling and gearing. I'm just so done. Whereas my druid, my night elf druid on Wrath of the Lich King, he's fully geared for 2 specs, balance, feral. Right? I can live the dream that I keep talking about, but yet I keep making all these goddamn new characters, playing on a new server. Now I'm back to playing Classic, the slowest experience of all. And I'm like, yeah, this is a good time. I've got a 74, almost 75 Paladin as well that I could be easily leveling up to 80, but no, here we are here. So I do this to myself. But unfortunately, I can't fully enjoy my druid as much as I'd like to. But I have the dual spec. I just don't like the way the bear form looks. Because their butt's like really in the air. Like it's really angled. Whereas this one, as you can tell, it isn't. I talked about that in another video. But the balance is fine. You can dual spec at will, right? Whereas in this one, it's you pick your poison. You're either one spec or another. There's no dual spec. It doesn't exist. You have to fully respec. And most people are not going to want to do that. Sorry, I'm a little bit spaced out here. So now I can just go ahead and kill any Trog. Stone Trog. Helps if I can speak properly. I don't know if the scouts can drop them. It appears like you might be able to. And that's what that add-on does. That I have. It allows me to see that. Yeah, so shitty gear acquirement if you're just a casual in Classic era. Slower pace. No dual spec. Everything's ungodly expensive. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Well, folks. It's a good thing this ain't Classic. Come here, bitch. Gotta focus. I got this. Kinda. Yeah, when I roam around, I kind of like just going around mauling things, but the healing part is definitely fun with the buff, so. Truth be told, if I was 60 on Classic, I'd probably just stick with balance. Really. And I probably wouldn't even bother getting all that fancy of gear. Just to, like, roam around, have a good time. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can at least hit. See, no teeth here. This is a scout. Come here. Yeah, whereas, like, Wrath of the Lich King for my Paladin, I'd only be holy. Right? Only holy. So the dual spec there is useless. But then your buffs are only 10 minutes. I really like how buffs are... How the fuck do I keep missing? Buffs are only 10 minutes for a Paladin. They really, really suck that way in terms of how long they last. Drives me insane. But the #1 most appealing thing of all, for Classic era, is the population. I mean, there's just people everywhere. And this is on low, and we can already see people everywhere. I went on the Wrath of the Lich King one. I came here. There's nobody here. So those are some huge, huge, huge things for me to consider. Right? I can have the playstyle I want. Or, yeah, in terms of having a lot of people to interact with and buff. But if it's taken too long, I don't like the gearing speed. Because I geared like over 20 characters over, you know, probably close to 20 years. Trying to get them all like Molten Core, Zul'Gurub geared and shit. And then as BC comes out, getting them all into Karazhan. And then doing the PvP, the arenas. It became too much. It was just like, screw this, really. Like I was just done. I was burnt out. Yeah, because, again, like I've said a million times, the way I play the game isn't how most people play the game. Like I play with, I don't play with anybody, but I do have my real life friend who plays on the same server that I play on. That's where I got my paladin and my druid. We both have the same druid and all this, whatever, it's cool. Sometimes we play, hang out. I don't need to be on my druid, but we can both sneak around. But unfortunately, unless we're just doing Winter Grasp or some battlegrounds, which I generally don't really do, there's nothing for me to do. I don't raid. I don't do dungeons, right? I just roam around, but that world is dead as shit. That's where I made the paladin. I was like, well, he can move around quicker. I'll get him up to 80 on a low population server. And that way, when it gets really, really populated, or once my level is high, like max level, I'll just move that one character to another server and do what I want to do there. And then when I happen to play with him, then I can log on my druid. That would be on the same server. It wouldn't matter that the server is completely dead, right? And again, I might hop on that. Just to kind of show you after. But this is predominantly classic era, but I still might go on my druid just to kind of show you. I'm rested, and I was halfway to 13, and oh, we got some new skills. That's cool. This is why it's good to rest at an inn, because I've been out here for a good couple of weeks, and look, I'm already half a bar from having used up my rested XP. So, yeah, so like who, you know, Stranglethorn Vale, that's a pretty big place. 50. That's the maximum it can show you. Hillsbrad. 18 now. Winter Spring, rather. Wow, 18 people in Winter Spring. Damn, on a low population server. I've already done Hillsbrad. I've done Ashenvale. Eastern Plaguelands. 22 people. Okay. Okay. How long have I been recording for? It's been 20 minutes. Okay. Please let me get the tooth. Just say that I zapped it right out of your jaw with the moonfire. I also have a druid that's an Outlands that's torn. That's already as well, like on the Burning Crusade, or on the Burning Crusade. On the Wrath of the Lich King server. He's in Burning Crusade, as in the zone. He's in Outlands. But he's already like, you know, 67, 68? Can't remember. Maybe 70? Whatever. He's up there. Sometimes I think, well, hey, I love Torn. Like for when they're in humanoid form. Doing balance or resto. You can dual spec. You're on a populated server. You've got more places to visit. You can fly. It's faster the level. I'm already 80, 90% of the way there. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Like it just... Sometimes I wonder if I've answered my own question. You're getting your ass kicked, Noah. It's this little moment right here. Right what I just did there. That's what it's all about right there. The helping people. It wasn't so much to come in and all that. And kick the crap. See? And a lot of people I find in Classic era. Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King, yeah. But in Classic era, it's like, oh wow. Like people just... They message you for the smallest thing. It's like, oh, thank you so much. Like it's a really, really big deal for them. Yeah, so I am going to, after now that I've been playing for... I'm still recording, right? Yes. I think I'm gonna hop on my... Wrath of the Lich King. Druid, maybe? Maybe the Paladin? I don't know. Paladin moves 20% faster because of the Burning Crusade skill of Crusader Aura. I have to admit, in some ways, Wrath of the Lich King, for me, has a much stronger case for it than Classic Era. Classic Era, arguably, though, the thing it has going for it is the most important aspect, the population. I can't stress that enough.
I've the finest wares in the land. Hi?
No, not you. I'm trying to click on little Nomi.
Safe travels.
Let's go ahead. The Lich King. I ain't doing no hardcore shit. Ain't got time for that. I want to actually be able to enjoy myself and not stress out. You die. It's permanent. You can move to a Classic Era server afterwards. Who the hell wants to do that? Right? Borean Dungeon. So I'm already in Hellfire. So I might as well just go on my druid here. See? Again, this is Wrath of the Lich King. But we are in a Burning Crusade zone. And this is a really, really low populated, like, server. Like, big time. Oh, and the potions. I love the potions where you're super big. Oh, yeah. Like, I know you can't tell because you can't see, like, another character there. But, like, my night elf is tall as shit. Well, here, let me go up against one of the Draenei. Chronokai Kistor. Like, I mean, look how tall I am. Like, I mean, that's... You know what I'm saying? Like, just wow. I'm a big beast. But the bear is all about the butt. I'd have to angle my character a lot more like this so that it doesn't look like it's just his butt. Remember earlier I showed you the side of him and it was like his back and then it went up? So here it's the other way around. It's all up and then this part's down. His, it looks like he's, you know, sticking his ass up in the air. And it does bother me. Now, the cat form doesn't bother me. I like it. It's, well, I shouldn't say. I don't love it. I like it. But I like being the bear and the big tank. You aggro a bunch of shit. And it's just a lot of fun. So the population overall, even if I'm on a high server, that is, on a high server, Wrath of the Lich King server, I'm probably going to come across more people, but they'll be spread out further apart. That'll be sort of the trade-off, right? So, normally we have Azeroth, right? For Classic Era. There's no expansions. It's just Kalimdor. It's just Eastern Kingdom. And within it, even if the population's lower, you just go boom here, boom, whoops. Boom here, or to this continent. And it's going to be more concentrated. Whereas now, you're not going to have as many people here when you're going through these classic era zones. Because a lot of them are going to be in here. Predominantly. In Borean Tundra, naturally. Howland Fjord, maybe Dragonblight, and some Grizzly Hill. I hate Zuldrak. And then, of course, in Outlands, there's going to be a lot of people in Hellfire, because that's the first zone. Terakar, Zangarmarsh. Zangarmarsh I always find dead, which is weird because it's the second zone, right? And then after that, it's usually like Terakar Forest, and then you go to Nigrand, and then Blade's Edge, and then Netherstorm, and then Shadowmoon kind of thing. But as you go on from beginner zone in, it just dies like astronomically. Here, let me show you. I'll show you, even on this server. This server is super low, though. So who Hellfire... Bam, 18 people. But how many of them are in the Zangarmarsh? Oh, okay. Yeah, but half of them are like... You know what I mean? More than half of them don't even need to be in there, really. Yeah. So there's barely anybody in here that needs a hand. Right? But I just kind of like doing this. Just flying around. I really do like Burning Crusade. It's very nostalgic. Wrath of the Lich King is nostalgic for me, but it was the beginning of the end for me. In terms of being in a guild, talking to some wonderful, amazing people that I had been talking to for several years. You know, like on TeamSpeak or Ventrilo. And then drama happened in some of the guilds. Things fell apart. Right? So, then I was pretty much solo through... I wasn't completely solo through Wrath of the Lich King. I want to say 3/4 of Wrath of the Lich King. It was like a 50-50 split. I had some people I could still hang out with and chat and actually play the game with. Them. By Kata, I was 100% on my own by Cataclysm. That was like 2010. That was already like over a dozen years ago, right? So now I'm in a guild. But like I said, now I'm the only one in here. I don't really talk to the guild anyways. It's just the one person that I know, my friend in real life. So it's kind of cool to, you know, because on and off we have been playing this game for nearly 20 years. And it is a lot of fun. But we don't really play together, and that's just because he's doing his thing. He's got a different schedule. I'm doing my thing. I'm generally recording. I next to never, no offense, play this game and not record. Like, when I think of World of Warcraft, I'm like, okay, where's the microphone? Let's giddy up and go. Oh, remember earlier? Ashenvale. There's one fucking person in Ashenvale. There's like 20. Right? In, like, how crazy is that? There's one fucking person. There's like 18 or 20 on that other server that's considered low. Like, wow. It's like, okay, then. Hillsbrad. 9 people. Oh, remember Winter Spring? Yeah. 4 people. Stranglethornville had over 50. Yeah, 11 people. It's ridiculous. It's, oh, Duskwood is a place I love to go to a lot. Yeah, that one is decently populated. But that's pretty much it, right? So for me, this server, it's fun. Low population. You still run into a couple of people here and there. It doesn't feel too alone when you're in the most current maps. In the most current map of the expansion. Which in this case is obviously Wrath of the Lich King. You'll run across people even on this server, which is low. And it's good for leveling, but once you're max level, it's like, no offense, I don't want like a bunch of 80s on this server. I don't. I want to do it just to level them up quicker. But then after that, it's like, I kind of want to do something else. I can't, like with this character, I can't really do what I want with him on this server. This server doesn't allow me to play the game the way that I want. That's just the reality of it. So, really quick, not that this is interesting. Sorry, I did /who. Ashenvale. Yeah, there's one person in Ashenvale. Hillsbrad again has 5 people. And then the Eastern Plagueland has 4 people. That's absolutely terrible. Whereas on this one, Philminator, this one I already have stuff going on with them. This is the most populated one for Horde. Now, my Alliance Paladin, I would be thinking of bringing to Benediction. But if I go to Philminator for the Horde... Yeah, 67, sorry. Druid. He's close to being able to go... Yeah, he's already close to being able to go to, the whatchamacallit. Wrath of the Lich King. And I have him as balance. Again, these cat, don't like them as much. I decided to go balance for this one. So if we do, again, who? Ashenvale. Yeah, look at how many people are in Ashenvale here. How many was there in the other one? It's like 4 or 5 people? No, there was 1. There was 1 person in Ashenvale. There's 27 here. It's kind of a big deal. Hillsbrad had what, like 4? Yeah, 28. Winter Spring? That's respectable considering this is Wrath of the Lich King and not many people have a reason to go there because they're pretty much ready to go to Outlands. Eastern Plaguelands. $20 people versus, like, again, 3 or 4. So as you could tell here, right? It's much more promising for me to be, like, on this server if I was playing Horde. Okay? Then the last one, and then I'll be done recording. This is the one where I would probably bring my Paladin. $20 people in Ashenvale. $11 people in Winter Spring. And again, it is a holiday. Middle of the day, people are getting ready to go back to school. Hillsbrad, dozen people in Hillsbrad. That's respectable-ish. I kind of wish there was like 20 people for every single zone, but 30 people in Duskwood. Don't forget, this is Wrath of the Lich King. People are going to be spread out more. Wow. That's pretty good. And then, of course, we've got... Oh, remember Hellfire? There was like 18 people? Yeah. 44 people in this one. And then Zankermarsh, there was like how many? There's like nobody. Yeah, 17 people. Wow. Half of them are Death Knights, but that's okay. Nagrand. 23 people. Yeah. So, again, if I want to, like, remain with my friend, like, Druid, right? Because they're already both leveled, both geared. I could just stay, do battle... Because if I'm just doing Battlegrounds and Wintergrasp, it doesn't matter what server I'm on. It could be completely dead, right? Completely dead. Whereas if I actually want to roam around, help people and all that, I can't do that on that server. So that's where another server comes in. I just don't know if I want to do Classic Era or if I want to do Wrath of the Lich King Classic. This experience might be, for me to revisit, it might be just a tad too much. Whereas with Wrath of the Lich King, again, it's a little bit easier to level up. It's a little bit more forgiving. You get your mount sooner, get gold easier. There's the dual spec, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, yeah. Now, these are PvP servers, but they're, like, severely imbalanced, and I don't do world PvP anymore. So, it's like 99%, you know, alliance for here. And then on the other server I was at, that one is going to be all Horde. So, nobody's ganking nobody. And the odd time that you do see a high level of the opposing faction, they don't care. They don't care about you whatsoever. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what to do. This is one of a few things, like I said, it's I either keep my Paladin on my main one for Wrath of the Lich King with my friend. I either keep the Paladin or I keep the Druid. I'd rather keep the Druid, I think, because they're both stealth and all that kind of stuff. If I want to play another Druid, honestly, it wouldn't bother me. Play another Druid, that's where I could probably play my Horde Druid on that server that I showed you there. That's really, really populated. All I got to do is just pretty much finish Nagrand, get to 68, and then slowly start leveling through Wrath of the Lich King, and I'm done. And then just do Wintergrasp here and there, get geared for balance, and then I can do what I want, which is just roam around and kind of do a whole lot of nothing. So there's always that. That way I've got one Horde Druid, one Alliance Druid, and that's pretty much it. But it is difficult to choose, and quite frankly, it's also difficult as to whether or not I even just want to keep going. With all these games that keep coming out, they take up so much time. I've got 3 YouTube channels on top of that. One dedicated to news, politics, controversy, and my other one's just a wrestling channel. I have to admit, World of Warcraft is a huge, huge time sink. But with my druid, he's already done. There's no more leveling. There's no more gearing. Like, I don't need to do anything with my druid. That's the cool thing. So yeah, that's where I'm torn. But I'm sure I'll eventually figure it out. All right, that's enough. You liked the video, thumbs up. It does greatly help support the channel. You didn't like it, thumbs down, and I'll bend it in half, twist it, and I'll break this thing off in your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great, but if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Wow, 6 race changes. Faction changes. Oh yeah, this is Wrath of the Lich King. That's right. Character transfers are expensive. Wow. $32 Canadian each. Wow. All right. Bye for now.